Hello and welcome to What the Hell Just Happened, the vlog that pulls back the curtain on the great and powerful Oz, but never needs to go for walkies. Who writes this stuff? From the newsroom, I'm your correspondent, Martin Ganappuller. This week, I have to ask, what the hell just happened in Cleveland? Seriously, this event was slated as the first of 3 debates between 2 candidates, one who knows what he stands for, isn't afraid to speak up forcefully, and represents the concerns of the majority, and the other, a shambling, sweaty, COVID-infected kabuki figure in an overstuffed suit. Based on the polls, Biden is the clear frontrunner, which is to say that Trump had everything to lose in this exchange. We just didn't think it would include his mind. It's no wonder that Trump's campaign chairman, Brad Parscale, left the campaign and was involuntarily hospitalized for a psych eval this week. Yeah, really. From the jump, moderator Chris Wallace tried to control the ebb and flow of the content and repartee, but what he quickly realized was that once he opened the fire hose nozzle that is the president's mouth, it was no longer under anyone's control. Trump's speak flooded the room with bullying, bombast, and bullshit until most people watching felt like they were on a ventilator in the ICU. The president didn't even try to stick to the topics or abide by the agreed-upon rules. It was like watching The Exorcist through an orange filter. Ugh. What we saw in Cleveland was less a debate and more of a 90-minute verbal assault in the guise of a rambling bitch fest by the interrupter-in-chief. Biden finally had to give up addressing him directly and spoke instead to the American people watching at home. He said, under Trump, America has become weaker, sicker, poorer, more divided, and more violent. And you know what? The president didn't really try to refute any of these charges other than to lay the blame on the Democrats. When they asked if he would denounce white supremacy, the president talked into the camera to the violent wingnut, tinfoil hat, QAnon Facebook conspiracists by urging the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by because somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left. Well, he really locked in the violent racist fringe vote with that one, didn't he? At one point, Trump told his followers to go to the polls on election day to prevent voter fraud. But we could all hear the bullhorn instruction to intimidate the voters in left-leaning districts. It was remarkable. Later, Biden was asked about the nomination of Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court, which happened in a ceremony at the Rose Garden this week in what is now being recognized as a super spreader COVID event. Biden made the case that the presidential election had already begun in many states, so her appointment was unfair to voters. He also said that Trump was already litigating the Affordable Care Act in the middle of a pandemic, which, if repealed by the Supreme Court, would strip pre-existing conditions coverage for over 20 million people, including those with COVID-19 itself. When pressed for his alternative health plan, Trump couldn't come up with anything except repealing the individual mandate in the Supreme Court. Now, I'm no legislative expert, but hello, that's not a health care plan. Well, at least he has great health care, as we saw this weekend. When Wallace confronted Trump about not paying his federal taxes, he claimed that he'd paid millions. But the Times had just reported that he'd only paid the equivalent of the cost of a set of tires for your car, not even Michelin's. Throughout the proceedings, Trump kept interrupting Biden to talk about how badly Joe would have screwed up the COVID response and the economy and the divisions within our society if only he'd been in charge. It was classic Trump, total projection. At one point, Biden had to tell the big blowhard to just shut up, and even called him a clown several times, which Big Donnie was okay with. But when Biden told the president to smarten up about his pandemic response before more people died or went out of business, Trump replied, "Did you use the word smarten? Smart. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word." I'm quoting from the transcript. It was like watching Donnie Dearest. After that, the discourse circled the commode for another 40 minutes until, mercifully, the clock demanded a final flush. So that's what the hell just happened at this debate, and I guess we'll check out the next one, but only after I refill my prescription for Valium. In the meantime, stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands frequently, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.